Imagination is like the first step in anything we do. It's a powerful tool that many different people use, such as scientists, artists, inventors, architects, and even mystics. When we talk about imagination, we mean the kind that is focused and controlled. This type of imagination is not just daydreaming. It's about using your mind to think of new ideas and solutions. For example, scientists use their imagination to come up with new experiments and discover new things about the world. Artists use it to create beautiful paintings and music. Inventors imagine new gadgets and machines that can make our lives easier. Architects use their imagination to design amazing buildings. Mystics, too, use their imagination to explore spiritual ideas and experiences. In all these cases, imagination is the starting point. It's the place where ideas are born. When you control and direct your imagination, you can create amazing things. So, imagination is not just a fantasy. It's a powerful tool that can help us achieve great things in the real world. When you imagine something, you're basically coming up with an idea and planting it deep into your mind. And whatever gets stuck in your mind shows up in your life as real things or experiences. So, if you want to achieve something, like success or wealth, you first have to imagine yourself already having it. It's like picturing yourself in that successful or wealthy position. Controlled imagination is very important for humans. It's one of our main abilities. It allows you to take your ideas and make them real in the world around you. When you control your imagination, you focus your thoughts and ideas on something specific. This means you can plan, create, and build things that didn't exist before. Controlled imagination is not just about daydreaming, it's about turning dreams into reality. This ability to imagine and then create is what makes humans special. It's how we have made incredible advancements in science, technology, art, and many other fields. By using our controlled imagination, we can shape the world around us and make amazing things happen. As we grow older, we learn more about how our minds work and the rules that govern them. Age isn't just about getting older, it's also about getting wiser. When we are young, we might not understand much about our thoughts and feelings. But as we experience more things in life, we start to understand how our minds operate. We learn how to control our thoughts, manage our emotions, and make better decisions. Growing older helps us gain wisdom. Wisdom is knowing how to use our knowledge and experience to make good choices. It means understanding the consequences of our actions and learning from our mistakes. When everyone else says something can't be done, people with imagination believe it's already happened. Imagination can even help us understand more about the world and uncover its secrets. Imagine a world where people fly in the sky like birds or talk to someone on the other side of the planet instantly. These things were once thought impossible until someone with a wild imagination believed they could be real. Imagination is like a superpower. It allows us to see beyond what's right in front of us and dream big. When others doubt, imagination sees endless possibilities. It's how humans have made incredible discoveries and pushed the boundaries of what's possible. Think about scientists who imagine new theories and experiments to understand the universe, or inventors who dream up gadgets that change our lives. Imagination drives innovation and progress. Once, a successful business person shared with me how they began with a small shop. They told me, "I used to dream big, imagining a huge company with branches all over the country." They explained that they would regularly and carefully imagine in their mind the big buildings, offices, factories, and stores they wanted, knowing that through the power of their mind they could make their dreams real. As they kept doing this, they started to attract to themselves everything they needed for their vision to come true: ideas, people to help, friends, money, and more. It's like when a seed is planted in the ground and then grows into a plant. The seed gives all its energy to become something bigger, drawing from the soil what it needs to grow. And when it emerges above the ground, it uses sunlight and air to continue growing. Similarly, This person nurtured and practiced their imagination, holding on to these mental images until their imagination turned them into reality. It's just as easy to imagine yourself succeeding as it is to imagine failing, and it's much more fun too. People have dreams, pictures, and goals in their minds because they know there's a special power that responds to these mental pictures. The images we hold in our minds are tied to our feelings. It's like Judge Thomas, a psychologist from the 19th century, said, "Feeling is like a rule. The rule is the feeling. Feeling is like the main power source. We need to put strong feelings into our mental pictures to see results." Maybe as you're listening to this, you have a dream or goal, a plan, something you want to achieve, but maybe friends, family, or others tell you it can't happen. You might even tell yourself, "Who do you think you are? You can't do that. You don't know enough. You don't have the right connections." Well, you do have the right connection. It's the presence of God within you that gave you the idea. The same God's presence can make it happen in the right way, with love from the divine. Maybe other thoughts pop up in your head, making fun of your plan or dream. You start to face opposition. To deal with these opposing thoughts, you should stop paying attention to what you see and feel around you. Instead, focus clearly and with excitement on your goal or objective. When your mind is focused on what you want to achieve, you're using the powerful law of your mind, and it will happen. Raise your ideal or desire in your mind. Make it important. Fully commit to it. Praise it, and give it your love and devotion. As you keep doing this, all the scary thoughts will bow down to your elevated state of mind. They'll lose their strength and vanish from your thoughts. Positive thinking is like a magic wand that can transform your life. When you focus on your goals and dreams with unwavering commitment and love, you create a powerful force that repels negative thoughts and fears. Imagine your dream as a bright star in the sky, guiding you towards your desired destination. By giving it your attention and devotion, you fuel its growth and power. As you nurture your dream, the doubts and worries that once clouded your mind will fade away, unable to withstand the brilliance of your elevated state of mind. Through your ability to imagine the final outcome, you can influence any situation or circumstance. If you want to make any wish, desire, idea, or plan come true, start by forming a mental image of achieving it in your mind. Keep picturing your desire as a reality, and you'll actually make it happen. What you imagine as true already exists in another layer of your mind. If you stay committed to your goal, it will eventually become real. The inner architect in you will show on the visible screen what you impress on your mind. Once an actor shared with me how he started his career as just average. He had small roles, but he discovered the power of his subconscious mind. Every night, he acted out the role of the person he wanted to become in his imagination. He did this repeatedly for 15 minutes every night, celebrating the strength of the spirit within him. He formed a pattern in his subconscious, and because the subconscious is driven by habit, he reached great heights in his profession. Every night, for 15 minutes, he played that movie in his mind, consistently and systematically. He was both the creator and the audience, watching a premiere created in his own mind. He trusted that the power of the Almighty would support him, and it happened. Your imagination paves the way for you. It comes before your actual experiences and results. Imagination is not just about dreaming, it's about creating possibilities. When you imagine something, you plant the seeds of potential in your mind. With time, effort, and dedication, those seeds can grow into reality. On the flip side, those who frequently experience setbacks often harbor images of failure. You see, imagination can be used in two ways. If someone is always complaining about being sick, it's likely because they've formed a mental image of being unhealthy and weak. Whatever you imagine, whether it's illness or failure, can influence your subconscious mind and shape your experiences accordingly. It's been found that many people who keep experiencing setbacks often have thoughts of failure in their minds, and their subconscious reacts accordingly. But if you start picturing success instead, things can change. You're meant to achieve and succeed. Take alcoholics, for example. They realize that just using willpower or trying to force themselves to quit drinking doesn't work. Mental pressure and sheer determination won't solve the problem. But when they start imagining a life of sobriety, peace, and going back to doing what they love, knowing that a higher power supports their vision, they can break free from the habit and find healing. Walt Whitman, a famous poet, had an amazing imagination. He once said that when the valleys were covered in mist, he looked up to the mountain peaks. And even when the mountains were hidden in darkness, he turned his attention to the stars. Imagination can lift you up to great heights or pull you down to the lowest lows. It's a powerful tool that can shape your reality, depending on how you use it. Look past the haze of uncertainty, fear, and worry and start seeing the world through a spiritual lens. A vision is like a destination you're aiming for, something you're focused on and giving your attention to. That's where you'll end up in life. If you set your sights on the mountaintop and say, "I'm going to reach there," you will. But if you start doubting yourself, thinking you're too old or it's too tiring, you won't make it. Your vision guides your journey. You also need to recognize the negative thoughts and inner doubts within you. They can either hold you back or push you forward towards your dreams. No matter how tough things get, remember that there's a sacred space within you, a place where you connect with something greater, something divine that lives within us all. Through your imagination, you can bring forth love and beauty from within. Imagination is like a workshop where raw materials are transformed into useful objects. Similarly, your imagination can turn ideas and thoughts into the conditions and events of your daily life. It's a powerful tool given to us by a higher power, a tool we can use to shape our reality. Think about it. Everything we see and use in our daily lives, from the clothes we wear to the cars we drive, started as an idea in someone's imagination. The buildings we work in, the homes we live in, even the roads and planes we travel on, all of these things began as thoughts in people's minds. Before anything becomes real, it first exists as an idea. A designer imagines new clothes before they are made. An engineer thinks of a new car design before it is built. Architects plan buildings in their minds before construction starts. Even the roads we travel and the planes we fly in were once just ideas in someone's imagination. Imagination is the starting point for everything. It allows people to think of new possibilities and create things that didn't exist before. Without imagination, we wouldn't have the amazing inventions and structures that make our lives better. Just take a look at the great paintings and statues throughout history. They all came from inspired imaginations. When an artist creates a beautiful image or sculpture, they first imagine it in their mind. That's where the idea is born. Before an artist starts painting or sculpting, they have a vision of what they want to create. They picture the colors, shapes, and details in their mind. This mental picture guides them as they work. Famous artworks like the Mona Lisa or the Statue of David began as ideas in the artist's imaginations. These masterpieces were created because the artists could see them in their minds before making them real. Imagination is the starting point for all great art. It allows artists to bring their ideas to life and share their visions with the world. Without imagination, we wouldn't have the beautiful and inspiring artworks that we enjoy today. So when we imagine something, it's like planting a seed. And if we nurture that seed with our thoughts and actions, it can grow into something real and tangible. Our imagination helps us envision the ideal, and it's those ideals that drive progress and inspire us to reach higher, to strive for something greater. So where does the beautiful Madonna in a painting come from? It exists first in the mind of the artist, brought to life through their disciplined imagination. Back in ancient Greece, over 2,600 years ago, people understood the power of the mind and imagination. They knew that what you imagine can shape your reality. Even expecting mothers used this knowledge to influence the health and appearance of their unborn children. Imagine this. Pregnant mothers surrounded themselves with beautiful artworks, pictures and statues, hoping their babies would absorb images of health, beauty and balance from their surroundings. They believed that by looking at these beautiful things, their babies would be born healthy and well-proportioned. It sounds simple, right? Well, sometimes the simplest truths are the most powerful. There's a story about a Persian prince who had a curved back and couldn't stand up straight. He hired a skilled sculptor to create a statue of him with a straight back, just as he wished to be. Then, he placed the statue in a hidden corner of his garden and spent time every day visualizing himself with a straight back, just like the statue. He focused on the image of his ideal self with faith and confidence that it would become a reality. Weeks passed, then months, even years. But gradually people noticed a change. The prince's back was no longer crooked. He stood tall and proud, just like the statue he had envisioned. By consistently imagining himself with a straight back, he made it happen. It's a beautiful example of the power of visualization and belief. Imagine this. Whatever you keep imagining, that's what you'll become. It's like playing a role in a movie over and over again, until you become the character you're playing. Before you can get something, you have to first imagine it and picture it in your mind like it's real. Think about it this way. If you keep imagining yourself as a kind and confident person, you'll start acting that way. If you see yourself as successful and happy, you'll work towards making that true. Your imagination is like a preview of your future self. For example, if you want to be a great musician, you need to imagine yourself playing well, hearing the music, and feeling the joy of performing. This mental picture will motivate you to practice and improve. The more you imagine it, the more real it becomes. Let me tell you about this guy I met a while back. He wanted to be a doctor, but he got drafted into the army, and he felt like his dream was slipping away. So I said to him, "Hey, picture yourself as a doctor. See yourself with that diploma in your hand, saying you're a full-fledged physician and surgeon. Imagine it like it's already happened. Use the power of your mind." I explained how the mind works to him in just 5 minutes. Guess what? He started picturing himself as a doctor, even while he was still in pre-med. And you know what happened next? The army sent him to medical school, and now he's living his dream as a doctor. He saw the end goal so clearly that he found a way to make it happen. You know, scientists who study ancient times tell us that even cavemen understood this idea. They draw pictures of animals they wanted to hunt on cave walls like fish, birds, or elephants. Why? Because deep down they knew that somehow, by picturing what they wanted, they'd find a way to get it. It might seem primitive, but they were onto something. They understood the power of the mind, and more often than not, their drawings came to life. They'd find those animals and have a meal. Imagination is something you already have inside you. I read from Dr. Cal Simonton, who's a doctor specializing in cancer. He found that even patients who were thought to have no hope of recovering from cancer could get better if they really wanted to. Here's what he did. Dr. Simonton explained to his patients how their minds could play a big role in helping them fight cancer. He started with his first patient, a 62-year-old man with throat cancer who was really sick. This man had lost a lot of weight, couldn't swallow properly, and could hardly eat. Dr. Simonton didn't just rely on medicine alone. He taught his patient to relax and imagine his body getting better. He asked him to picture his throat as healthy and perfect, like in a picture the doctor showed him. He wanted the patient to imagine his body's defenses working to make his throat healthy again. The results were incredible. After going through this mental exercise regularly, the patient's cancer disappeared, and even his arthritis got better. And get this, after struggling with impotence for over 20 years, he managed to overcome it in just 10 days using the same technique. He started having a normal relationship with his wife again. When Dr. Simonton's colleagues joked about whether he even needed to use medical machines anymore, he humbly said he still had more to learn. Now, his patient is living cancer-free, arthritis-free, and enjoying a fulfilling relationship with his wife, all thanks to the power of his imagination and belief in his own healing. Dr. Simonton even learned these techniques himself, just in case he ever needed them in his own life. Dr. Simonton, who worked as a doctor at Travis Air Force Base, shared a remarkable story about one of his patients. This patient was an Air Force navigator, someone who didn't smoke but ended up with 2 cancers, one on the roof of his mouth and a larger one in the back of his throat. Now, normally the chances of curing these types of cancers are pretty low, around 5 to 10%, especially when you're dealing with 2 at the same time. But Dr. Simonton didn't just rely on traditional treatments. He taught the patient to relax and imagine himself getting better. They did this visualization exercise 3 times a day, and guess what? It worked like magic. Today, there's no sign of cancer in his body. What's really impressive is how quickly the treatment started to work. After just 1 week, the tumor started shrinking. By the end of 4 weeks, it was as if the cancer had stopped growing altogether, and within 3 months, the patient looked totally normal again. He was even cleared by his doctors to go back to flying, which was a big deal for him. Dr. Simonton emphasizes that the patient's attitude played a huge role in his recovery. He was incredibly positive and cooperative throughout the process. And it wasn't just this patient. Dr. Simonton found that even people who were considered terminally ill could get better if they really wanted to. It's all about having the desire and belief in your own healing. You know, not everyone understands this. Some people actually want to be sick. It might sound strange, but it's true. Let me explain why I'm telling you this. It's to show you just how powerful imagination can be. See, there are folks out there who use their imagination in the wrong way. Take this successful businessman, for example. He's doing really well in his business, but in his mind, he keeps imagining his shelves empty, his business going bankrupt, and himself ending up in poverty. Now, if he keeps thinking like that, it could actually happen, even though things are going well for him right now. The things he's imagining aren't real, but by playing that movie of failure in his mind over and over again, he's setting himself up for trouble. It's like wearing different coats. You can choose to wear a coat of fear, faith, confidence, love, or goodwill. Just like you pick out different clothes for different occasions, you can also choose what kind of attitude or mood you want to have. You wouldn't wear your workout clothes to a fancy dinner, right? In the same way, you can choose the mental clothes you want to wear each day, the attitudes and feelings you want to carry with you. You have this amazing ability to turn any idea into something real. It's like you have this superpower of imagination. You can picture anything you want, anything that's beautiful and positive. Just think about it. You can imagine your friend, who might not have much money, living in a huge, beautiful mansion surrounded by luxury. You can see the excitement on their face, the happiness radiating from them, and a big smile spreading across their lips. You can even hear them talking about all the great things happening in their life. Your imagination is so powerful that it can make your dreams come to life. You can imagine a world where there's plenty of everything, even if right now there seems to be a shortage. You can imagine a world filled with peace, even if there's conflict around you. And you can imagine being healthy and strong, even if you're feeling sick. Your imagination is like the boss of your mind. It's the most important part, and it can make all the other parts of your mind do what you want. Think of your mind as a team, with different parts working together to help you navigate through life. Your imagination, however, is the leader of this team. It has the power to direct your thoughts, feelings, and actions. When you imagine something, you're essentially giving instructions to your mind, whether it's picturing yourself achieving a goal, overcoming a challenge, or simply daydreaming about your future. Your imagination sets the stage for what happens next. For example, if you imagine yourself giving a successful presentation at work, Your mind will start to prepare you for that scenario. It will boost your confidence, sharpen your focus, and guide your actions to make that vision a reality. Your imagination doesn't just influence your thoughts, it shapes your reality. By harnessing the power of your imagination, you can unlock your full potential and achieve amazing things. You have lots of abilities, but your imagination is like a superpower. When you learn to control it, you can do amazing things. It's like you can bend time and space and overcome any obstacle. Think of your imagination as a secret weapon that you carry with you everywhere you go. It's not just about dreaming, it's about creating. When you harness the power of your imagination, you unlock a world of endless possibilities. Imagine yourself as a superhero with the ability to shape your reality with just your thoughts. With your imagination as your guide, you can conquer any challenge that comes your way. It's like having a magic wand that can turn your dreams into reality. For example, if you're facing a difficult problem, you can use your imagination to brainstorm creative solutions. By picturing different outcomes in your mind, you can find new perspectives and ideas that you might not have considered before. Your imagination also has the power to transport you to different places and times. You can travel to far-off lands, explore new worlds, and experience things beyond your wildest dreams, all within the confines of your own mind. Imagine if you filled your mind with positive, uplifting thoughts, like being kind, helping others, and achieving your goals. Your imagination becomes this powerful tool that guides you through life. No matter what challenges you face, you can use your imagination to break free. Picture yourself surrounded by your loved ones, doing all the things that make you happy. Even if you feel trapped by fear, sickness, or not having enough, your imagination can set you free. Just keep imagining yourself free until it becomes real. Think about a sports player who gets injured during a game. They might end up in the hospital, but in their mind, they're back on the field playing again. They keep imagining themselves back in action, and eventually they recover and get back to what they love. It's like their imagination helps them heal faster. Certainly there are folks who seem to hold on to their sickness. They find comfort in talking about their pains and problems, maybe because it gets them attention. But really, wouldn't you want to feel better? It's like, deep down, you're meant to be your best self, to live life to the fullest. Surprisingly, not everyone wants to get better. They sort of cling to their suffering, almost like it's a friend they don't want to let go of. Imagine this. There's this skilled architect from Italy. Even before any builders start working, he can see in his mind's eye this incredible city with skyscrapers, pools, beautiful parks, and more. He can visualize every detail of a majestic palace before a single brick is laid. It's all in his imagination. You see, when you imagine something, you're giving birth to it in your mind. It's like planting a seed of an idea in your subconscious. Think about it. That new invention you've been dreaming up, or maybe a big idea you've had for a while. It all starts in your mind. It's real in a different way, like it exists in another dimension. And if you truly believe in it, you can bring it into your reality. Now imagine being able to hear your mum's voice, even if she's miles away. It's like she's right there with you, sharing all the things you've been longing to hear. Because in a way, we're all connected mentally and spiritually. You can see her in your mind's eye, clear as day, and feel her presence even if she's physically far away. It's a pretty amazing power when you think about it. You definitely have the ability to tap into this power within you and find success and prosperity. Let's say your mom is sick in the hospital. You might not physically be there with her, but you know deep down that she needs healing. Now here's the thing. It wouldn't make sense to panic or worry about her, right? That wouldn't help her at all. Instead, you can use what you know about the mind and spirit to help her. You find a quiet spot, maybe sit down or lie on the couch, and start by relaxing your body. You go through each part, from your toes to your head, and tell yourself that each part is relaxed. It's like giving your body a little pep talk to calm down. As you relax, you also start to believe that your prayers or thoughts for your mum's healing will be answered. It's like you're opening up to this powerful force that's ready to help you out. And as your body relaxes, your mind follows suit. Everything starts to quiet down, and you're in a state where you can really connect with that inner strength. It's pretty amazing what happens when you allow yourself to relax and trust in the process. If you constantly picture yourself succeeding in what you love to do, and you do it regularly without doubting yourself, you're bound to succeed. It's like the universe has your back when you have such a positive mindset. We've mentioned before that our thoughts are heavily influenced by our imagination. And guess what? You can use it in different ways, just like you can use any other force of nature for good or bad. Take nitric acid, for example. You could use it to harm someone or create a beautiful piece of art. Same with water. It could be used to save someone from thirst or cause harm if not handled properly. It's not the element itself that's good or bad, it's how we use it. The laws of chemistry are like that too. They're reliable and can be used to benefit humanity, like creating medicines to cure diseases. But if you're not careful and don't understand these laws, you could end up causing harm instead. It all comes down to understanding and respecting these natural laws. When you do, you can use them to make the world a better place. Picture this. You wake up and it's raining outside. You start imagining that today will be a terrible day for your business. You think no one will come to your store because they don't have money. You keep thinking like this, and guess what? Your day turns out exactly how you imagined it. Poor business, no customers. Now let me tell you about a woman I spoke to on the phone. She inherited a big house from her dad, worth $500,000, but she couldn't sell it. She kept saying, "No one has that kind of money nowadays. People come to see it, but they never come back." I told her, stop thinking like that. Instead, imagine giving a tour of your house to a potential buyer. You show them every room, the garage, and everything else. And guess what? They love it. They say, "I want to buy it," and hand you a check. All of this is happening in your imagination, I explained. You're happy about selling the house, taking the check to the bank and the banker congratulating you. It's all in your mind. If you don't sell it in your mind first, you'll never sell it in real life, because all the important stuff happens first in your mind. Imagine you want to sell your house. But here's the thing. You can't sell it unless someone wants to buy it and has the money for it. That's basic, right? But sometimes people make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's so simple that even a 7-year-old can get it. So if you start thinking, who has that much money these days? The economy's tough and mortgage rates are high. You're already giving up. But there are plenty of people out there with lots of money, even millionaires. Here's what you do. Trust that the right buyer is out there. Believe that this buyer appreciates your house, can afford it, and will prosper in it. Then focus only on those serious buyers, not the ones who are just curious. Picture it in your mind. You're giving a tour of your house to the perfect buyer. They love it, they're happy, and they're ready to buy. Keep imagining this, and eventually, it will happen. That's the simplest and quickest way to sell your house. Now, think about this. The Bible tells us to focus on things that are true, just, lovely, pure, honest, and of good report. It says to imagine these things. So what do you imagine for your life? Do you see a happy, fulfilling life ahead, or do you dwell on frustrations and setbacks? Here's the thing. What you consistently imagine shapes your reality. Imagine a life filled with dignity, joy, and satisfaction. Picture moments where your husband tells you exactly what you've always wanted to hear. Now, to make this happen, you need to relax and believe. Prayer only works when you truly believe it will. So take a moment to quiet your mind, relax, and imagine your husband whispering those sweet words to you. "I love you, darling. You're amazing." Imagine this. Your partner is sharing with you everything you've been longing to hear. They're telling you about their promotion, how they're doing what they love and how much they adore you. They're painting a picture of a wonderful life filled with love and success. And you know what? It's important to listen to these words and believe in them. Don't doubt what you're affirming. When your partner speaks to you in this way, it's like they're following the golden rule and the law of love. They're expressing their feelings in a way that aligns with what you both desire. True love can't be forced. It's like wanting someone who doesn't want you back. It just doesn't make sense. So instead of trying to manipulate feelings, focus on building genuine connections based on mutual affection and respect. Love is like a two-way street. When you care for someone, it's only natural to expect that they care for you in return. It's like when someone says, "I'm head over heels for John Jones." But when you ask if John feels the same way, all they can say is that he smiles at them and is nice. But there's no talk of marriage or commitment. If you're in love with someone, they need to feel the same way about you. It's a give and take kind of thing. Love is about being in sync with each other. It's about sharing love, peace, and kindness with everyone around you. But you can't force someone to love you back or marry you. That's like trying to use magic to control them, and it just doesn't work. It's not only wrong, but it also causes problems for you in the end. It's just plain crazy to try to force someone to love you. Now close your eyes and picture yourself. If you imagine yourself living in a world that's harsh, cold, and full of struggles, then that's what you'll experience. You're basically setting yourself up for a tough time because that's what you're imagining. But now let's try a different scenario. Imagine yourself on a golf course. Feel the freedom, the relaxation, and the excitement coursing through your veins. Every challenge the course throws at you becomes an opportunity for joy and growth. You feel alive, energized, and ready to conquer anything in your path. Now switch gears and imagine yourself at a funeral parlor. Notice how different you feel in this situation. It's natural to feel a wave of emotions wash over you as you picture yourself there. But if you understand how your mind works, if you're not stuck in old ways of thinking, you can find peace even in moments of grief. Instead of dwelling on loss, you can imagine the departed soul surrounded by loved ones in a place of beauty and serenity. You can envision a sense of divine peace flowing through everyone present, comforting them in their time of need. You have the power to transport yourself to a place of peace and comfort, no matter where you are. It's all thanks to the incredible power of your imagination. When you close your eyes and imagine a peaceful place, a quiet forest, a serene beach, or a cozy room, you can instantly feel more relaxed and at ease. Your imagination has the amazing ability to create a sense of calm and comfort within you, even in the midst of chaos. Whether you're stuck in traffic, feeling stressed at work, or dealing with difficult emotions, your imagination can be a powerful tool for finding inner peace. By visualizing a peaceful scene and focusing on the feelings it evokes, you can shift your mindset and create a sense of tranquility within yourself. Every passing is like a new beginning in the eyes of God. Nowadays, in some modern funerals, there might not even be a body present. Instead, the family might choose to have a memorial service where they gather together and reflect on the departed's new journey in the embrace of God. It's a sensible approach, and it's heartening to see more people embracing these ideas. When you believe that someone is buried somewhere, you're essentially embracing the idea of endings and limitations. You're constructing a mental cemetery, and you know how negative that can be. Here is a story about a man I knew. He spent hours examining the round towers of Ireland, lost in thought. When I asked what he was thinking about, he explained that focusing on grand, inspiring ideas is how we grow and expand. He imagined the journey of the stones in the tower, from the quarries where they were formed to their place in the tower. He even imagined their connection to the history of the Irish people. Through his vivid imagination, he brought life to the stones and heard the echoes of the souls who shaped them. The whole place came alive in his mind as he wove tales of its origins and purpose. It's a reminder that everything is connected, and with imagination, we can uncover hidden stories and truths. Think about this. My friend once told me, I can almost feel the touch and hear the footsteps that disappeared thousands of years ago. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where do novels, poems, and the stories of humanity come from? It's like there's a hidden world within everything around us. Even in the stones that make up a building, there's a sense of eternity. Nothing is really lifeless. It's all bursting with life in its own unique way. And you know what? It's our imagination that helps us tap into this hidden world of wonder. Think about this. When you let your imagination soar, it's like unlocking hidden secrets of nature. You can dive deep into your thoughts, bringing unseen things to life. Have you ever noticed how religions, TV, radio, and even super-fast jets all started as ideas in someone's imagination? It's like your imagination is a treasure chest full of endless possibilities. Picture this. You're standing in front of ancient ruins or an old temple, and suddenly you can see the past coming alive before your eyes. Even in the midst of tough times, your imagination can be your ticket to freedom. It's like you're breaking free from the chains of adversity and finding a whole new world of possibilities. Think about Shakespeare. He didn't just write stories. He brought characters to life with his imagination. And guess what? Those characters are a reflection of us. They're all part of the human experience, just like you and me. So when you use your imagination, you're actually following in your Father's footsteps. Whether you're running a small shop or dreaming of something bigger, you're tapping into your inner wisdom to make the world a better place for yourself and others. If you're into writing short stories, you're actually doing what your Father would want you to do. Imagine a story where the golden rule and love play a big role. You see, faith is important, but love is what makes it really powerful. Love means wishing well for everyone, being kind and warm-hearted. So when you're crafting your story, think about it with your spiritual side and artistic flair. This will make it captivating and really interesting for your readers. Remember, you've got this amazing imagination inside you. It's a good idea for all of us to take a step back sometimes and rethink our ideas and beliefs. Take a moment to ask yourself, why do I think this way? Where did these ideas come from? You might realize that many of the things you believe were never really checked for accuracy. They were just accepted without questioning whether they're true or not. Think about archaeologists and paleontologists. They explore ancient Egyptian tombs and use their imagination to piece together what life was like thousands of years ago. They look at old ruins and hieroglyphs, trying to understand a time when people didn't even have language. It's like they're bringing the past back to life. With their imagination, they can picture ancient temples with roofs, gardens, and pools. They can even imagine what creatures looked like based on fossil remains. It's almost like they're seeing and hearing the past as if it were happening right now. Imagination lets us break free from the constraints of time and space, allowing us to explore the past in a whole new way. With your imagination, you can journey alongside some of the most inspired people throughout history. It's like you're sharing their experiences, their triumphs, and their wisdom. Imagine a world where there's no more sadness or tears, where success is within your reach, and where you can overcome any obstacle. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, through your imagination, you can make it a reality. Here's the trick. If you want to be successful, start by imagining yourself as successful. Same goes for wealth. When everyone else says something can't be done, your imagination says, "Watch me." Imagination isn't just about dreaming, it's about diving deep into reality and uncovering its secrets. By imagining the outcome you desire, you gain control over any situation. Picture success, abundance, peace, and health in your mind, and watch as they start to manifest in your life. Your imagination has incredible power. It can take any idea or desire and turn it into reality. Believe it, visualize it, and it will become real. So, whatever you're dreaming of, know that it's already taking shape in your mind. Trust in your imagination, and you'll see your dreams come true. Imagine a world where all sadness and pain disappear, where success is guaranteed in everything you do, and where you can overcome any challenge that comes your way. That's the power of your imagination. Your imagination has the incredible ability to create a world of endless possibilities. When you close your eyes and envision a future where everything goes your way, you tap into a wellspring of hope and inspiration. You can imagine yourself achieving your goals, overcoming obstacles, and finding happiness and fulfillment in every aspect of your life. While the real world may be filled with challenges and uncertainties, your imagination offers a sanctuary, a place where you can escape from the struggles of everyday life and dream of a brighter tomorrow. It's a place where you can envision the life you want to live and the person you want to become. But your imagination is more than just a source of comfort and inspiration. It's also a powerful tool for creating positive change. By visualizing success and focusing on your goals, you can motivate yourself to take action and turn your dreams into reality. For example, if you want to imagine being healthy, Joseph Murphy suggests visualizing yourself with a healthy throat, and then really believing in your mind that healing is taking place. He also talks about imagining conversations with others where you confidently declare your good health. It's similar to what Neville Goddard teaches, and it really works. Sometimes, though, it can be tricky to imagine the right things. For instance, if you're trying to imagine someone in the hospital getting better, it's important to visualize them outside of the hospital, healthy and happy. Murphy also touches on the idea of attracting love from others. He emphasizes the importance of radiating love yourself if you want to receive love from others. It's like a give-and-take relationship. If you're trying to make something happen in your life, it's really helpful to revisit Dr. Murphy's teachings. He shares some great techniques that I found really interesting. One story he told about Howard Schultz and Starbucks stood out to me. It's a great example of how imagining what you want your business to be can make it a reality. It shows that anything is possible if you use your imagination properly. I've talked about imagination in many audiobooks, but it's worth repeating because it's so important. Dr. Murphy emphasizes that disciplined imagination is the key. If you constantly imagine bad things happening or things not working out, it can actually work against you. That's why it's important to focus on imagining positive and wonderful things in your life. I hope these examples give you a better understanding of the power of imagination. Even if you've heard similar teachings before, repetition can be a good thing. It helps reinforce the message and keeps it fresh in your mind. So keep imagining and believing in the possibilities. As Dr. Murphy points out, the most impactful teachings are often straightforward, but they need to be repeated regularly. So let's remind ourselves, stop picturing things going wrong. Instead, visualize your healing, your success, and your financial abundance. It's a simple but powerful message. Focus on the positive. When we constantly imagine the worst-case scenarios, we attract negativity into our lives. But when we shift our thoughts towards healing, success, and abundance, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. Take a moment to share in the comments how you've used your imagination to shape your reality. Let's inspire each other with our stories of imagination in action. Whether it's envisioning a successful career, picturing yourself surrounded by love and happiness, or imagining financial abundance, your imagination has the power to turn dreams into reality. So let's come together and celebrate the incredible potential of our imaginations to shape the lives we desire. Thank you for listening.